Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Mr. Holland, Part 313. Hell of a weekend this weekend, this past weekend. For me, as being a Wolverine fan, Lions fan, and it's overall a great weekend. You know, it's always good when you get a Wolverine victory and Lions victory in the same weekend. So, I just kind of want to touch on both games, you know, a little bit. You know, the Wolverines and Cincinnati and the Lions in Arizona. But starting off with the Wolverines in Cincinnati, in my opinion, that game it really should have been over by halftime. Defense came out firing all cylinders, but I thought that with the play of the offense, which could have played a lot better, it kind of kept Cincinnati in that game a lot later than they should have been. I would be lying if I told you I wasn't concerned going forward with the play of Wilton Spate. I'm trying to be patient. I really am. I'm still trying to support him as much as I can, but at the same time, he has to get better. You know, it's not being negative, but it's just a fact. You know, if you can't continue to have boneheaded turnovers, you know, and fumble handoffs, especially when you get into the Big Ten season and you start playing better competition. So, you know, if a team like Cincinnati was able to hang around for as long as they did, you know, you can imagine you playing better teams, especially on the road. I have to admit, I am extremely nervous going on the road in big games with him at quarterback. I mean, we still got to go to Penn State, Wisconsin, and, you know, obviously we got the final game at home against Ohio State. You have to have a quality quarterback to really compete, and you know, not only for to make it to the college football playoffs, but make it to the national championship game. That's just the way it is. It's good to have a great defense, which we do, but you can't always depend on your defense to, you know, to constantly bail out the quarterback. You know, and I don't want us to fall victim to that, but he just simply has to get better. That's just the way it is. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no way around that. He got to get better in order for us to really be successful in the future. Overall, very good win. Obviously, we got Air Force next. You know, it seems like Cincinnati. Now you got Air Force. These are the teams that you really need to really flex your muscles on and kind of get the offense going, the rhythm. So you get used to playing teams like that until you start playing stiffer competition. So if you coming out against teams like that, making mistakes, keeping them in the game, that's not a good sign moving forward to better competition. So Wilton Spate simply has to get better. You know, that's just the way it is. Overthrowing receivers, boneheaded interceptions. You know, you simply cannot do that. I mean, that's just the way it is. On to the Lions. Man, overall, I got to give a A for the defense. They played. You know, they really surprised me because I was kind of worried going to the season, especially with the loss of Kerry Hyder, that we was going to lose a lot of depth on the defensive line, and you know, I thought it'd be very critical for us to get pressure on the quarterback. You know, and obviously, you know, you're losing a player like that who had such a tremendous season last year. You know, that's not helping things at all. But everybody stepped up. I mean, Zettel, Robinson. Man, it was just overall collective great effort. Jared Davis, the linebacker, great fumble recovery. The offense really kept not the offense, but the defense really kept the team in the game. I mean, offense came out struggling, which I understand that. I mean, you playing against Arizona, who had a good defense, by the way. You know, first game of the season, you got to get your jitters out because you're so used to playing each other in practice and all that, but in preseason. But now, you know, everything counts, everything is legit. So it's good to, you know, I understand coming out a little rusty at first. But speaking of that, man, you know, I'm online talking to DVE crew on Google Hangouts, and I'm also on Facebook. But as I was on Facebook, and you know, Stafford had a pick six. I mean, just the dumbass comments that you hear from fans just freaking the fuck out. First off, it's 4 quarters to a game, you know, so we may have came out a little sluggish, but you know, teams, I mean, people coming out ripping the team. They really went in on Stafford after that pick six. I knew that wasn't going to help nothing at all because it seemed like it's a bunch of haters and naysayers just waiting around for him to make a mistake so they can, continue to talk that stupid shit, about his contract and, woo not being a good player, all that overpaid. Eventually, the office settled down, Stafford settled down himself, and everything was clicking. So when you got your offense firing off cylinders and your defense playing well, you're very hard to beat. You really are, and I'm glad they did. So even we kind of sputtered in the first half, and we're struggling to sustain drives. We got it going, and we came up with the victory. Now, one thing I still want to see is, listen, we have to somehow, some way. Before I go on to my next point, we definitely have to get Taylor Decker back. I mean, for real. My goodness, if that didn't show just how important he was to the offensive line, I can just only imagine if he was back and healthy, just how much better the offensive line would have played. Not to say they didn't play good, I mean, but it could have been better. But with that being said, I'm still concerned about the lack of running game. I mean, that wasn't. I understand Arizona's a good team, but at the same time, a sufficient running game helps out your quarterback so much. So you don't have to rely on him throwing all the time, because when that becomes the case, you become one-dimensional. Now luckily, with the great play of the defense and offense started to step up a little bit, we turned out to be all right. But moving forward, it's very important. It is very, very important to get your running game going on. I mean, I don't know if it's the lack of holes, running lanes being open for Abdullah, or him simply not getting necessary yardage. But either way, that's something that has to be addressed and has to be fixed. I don't know, for some reason it seems like that's kind of been that issue for a long, long time. Just getting a sufficient running game. Like, honestly, our last 100-yard rusher was Reggie Bush. I can't even talk. Was Reggie Bush, and shit, he was out of his prime at that point too. So we got to step up in that area for us to be successful. I think if we could somehow, some way get that going, then we'll definitely be all right. And a little bit better pass protection for Stafford as well. I mean, it was a lot of hits I thought he took and sacks that he took that he didn't need to take. So I'm always concerned about that. He's been Iron Man for the past 6 years, and I'm playing every game, but we still need him to stay upright so we can get the ball to the playmakers. Man, big shout out to Galladay, man. He started off a little shaky himself, but once he settled in, he really made some big plays, man. So, just imagine, man, with a good running game, great pass protection, for Stafford, man, just how far this offense can go. And if the defense can play on a consistent basis like they did, I guess, in this game against Arizona, we can really do something special this year. But anyway, I made this little video a little longer than I anticipated it being, but I'm going to get on out of here. As always, shout out to my DVE crew, Detroit versus everybody. Mr. Holland Part 313. I'll get at y'all later.